Okay, mic is hot. I think we're ready to go. I haven't checked my mic. Is your mic working? Speak.
Is mine working?
All right, Chapman, Chrissy Birdsall here with you guys. And Magic Basketball is back at the Kia Center. Kind of a tough loss the other day in Toronto, 52 points. It was an historic loss, but it was one loss, Chrissy Birdsall. And so hopefully you're able to get back on track here today. I know I'm very scared to open up the comments on the stream, but we will entertain your thoughts. This can be a therapy session if it needs to be. But I would remind everybody that if you come out and you beat the Phoenix Suns here tonight, we're not going to worry too much about what happened in Toronto. You got another one tomorrow, a massive game against the Atlanta Hawks. And based on what we heard this morning at shoot-around, it was a very, I would say, direct Jamal Mosley. I think Jalen Suggs was said a lot of what you wanted to hear. I'm not sure the mood is necessarily much better than it was. You still have that taste in your mouth, to be sure, but it's one thing to lose a game, and especially in today's NBA, like 30-point losses happen all the time. It's one thing to get blown out. It's another thing to lose by 52 points. That was embarrassing. That was, I think, a blow to your pride, and one of the things I loved about what Jalen said this morning was, if you don't come out tonight with passion and energy to start the game, it speaks volumes about your character.
Right.
After what the last impression of Magic Basketball was, which to a man, everybody will admit was unacceptable. Coach Mosley took it after the game on his chin. He said, it was my fault. I didn't have the guys ready to go. I disagreed with that, but that's what leaders do, is they say, put the blame on me, and I appreciate that from Jamal. But to a man, everybody's got to be better. And there's enough blame to go around when you lose a game like that. And the only thing you can do is try to scrape yourself off the mat and go out in his final 8 games and acquit yourself well. You're going to be in the play-in tournament in some capacity, more likely than not. You're going to have a game beyond game 82. Maybe you'll get some guys back in the next 2 weeks. We don't know the answer to that question yet. But bottom line is, Chrissy, you don't have to look far to see good Magic basketball. The first 2 weeks of the month of March,
right, you're
playing as well as anybody in the league. The last 2 weeks, you're playing as poorly as anybody in the league. So the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. But you're going to have to figure out a way to get back to what you were doing the first 2 weeks of March, and that was defending. And the bottom line is the defense hasn't been good enough the last couple weeks, and it hasn't been Magic basketball the last couple weeks. So hopefully we can get back to that here tonight. Hopefully we can get some juice in this building. I think that's something that's been missing. I understand why fans wouldn't be too crazy about getting fired up about this team, but hopefully you get off to a good start tonight and you start to work your way out of the hole that you've now dug for yourself.
Yeah, I think when you come into a game like tonight, you almost want to get back, right, to get that sour taste out of your mouth as soon as possible. So you get the day off yesterday, you come back from Toronto, you look at the film, you figure out what happened, what went wrong, really going back to that first quarter, and then you turn things around and you come in today. And that's really what the message was of Coach Mosley, even Desmond Bane on Sunday after the game talking about it, and Jalen Suggs. You acknowledge the loss, you acknowledge what happened, you take the lessons from it, but then you got to get right back on the horse and get right back on track. You got this Phoenix team tonight that is in a very interesting position. They're trying to avoid the play-in as much as possible. So it's not like this is an easy match coming into it, and then you're going right into a back-to-back against the Atlanta Hawks, a team that you really want to get back after falling to them a few times this year, obviously with the standings and everything coming through. I know Jalen Suggs said it today during shoot-around that every game from here on out is a must-win game. And they said that even on Sunday, that, you and BK were talking about it on the Magic Audio Network, how pivotal and important that game was for the Magic. The players acknowledged that, but they just weren't able to come out with that firepower. And now you come into tonight's game and you got to come out strong. You got to come out aggressive. You got to be able to set the tone early. And I feel like from what we got from coaches and players today, it feels like that there is that energy and that willingness to do it. They just have to go out and do it.
Yeah, and one thing, and this may sound like an excuse, but one thing that I think it's important to keep in mind is we're still the 5th youngest team in the league, and you have those expectations, but I think sometimes that explains the highs and lows with this group. Like, we've seen some of the best basketball in the league from this group at times, and we've seen some really, really kind of head-scratching, can't even get the ball across half-court type of basketball, specifically on Sunday against Toronto. To be clear, like the Raptors' pressure and the fact that they were going to press and throw traps at you. I know for a fact that was part of the game plan because Jamal Mosley mentioned it pregame when he spoke to the media. So that wasn't about preparation. That wasn't about scouting report. That was about execution. And then the second half, which was really frustrating, was about effort and about desire and about pride. And for once, and you haven't seen this very often in 5 years under Jamal Mosley, for once it felt like you let go of the rope in the second half of that game on Sunday. That was the really disappointing part, was even when you were down 30, you just want to see a little bit more fight than you saw. I do think the injuries have started to kind of compile, and you've got this sort of residual effect going on. We've talked about Desmond Bane being top 3 in the league in minutes played. He hasn't missed a game all year. Paolo has not missed a game since his return from the groin injury. Paolo is also top 10 in usage percentage. Since the All-Star break, he is absolutely carrying a massive load. He's young. He can handle it. He wants to carry that load. But I think him having, we'll call it what it was. That was a stinker for Paolo the other night, just like everybody else. I think he's due one of those. He's been so good the last couple weeks. Wendell Carter Jr. has also already played more games than he has at any other point in his career, now with 8 games remaining. So you got guys who I think are overextended a little bit. And to be frank, what the injuries have caused is bench players to become starters and end-of-bench players to become bench players.
Right.
And the last couple weeks, it's been really, really rocky when you've broken the starting lineup. And Coach Mosley has tried just about everything, keeping Paolo and Desmond Bane on the floor together when you go to that second unit. Layering in the second unit guys 1 and 2 at a time rather than just going, a second unit of 4 guys being in the game with Paolo Banchero at any point. He has tweaked the rotations about as much as he possibly can, and at some point you say, well, you got guys who probably weren't in the plans in training camp playing heavy minutes during a playoff push, and that can be really difficult to reconcile because you're not sure if that's not a matter of X's and O's, and it may not even be a matter of want to. It's a matter of can. And so that I think you're starting to bump into that a little bit as well. All of that said, one of the other things I liked about what Jalen said this morning was everybody's hurt across the league. The Suns are getting healthy, but they're still missing their starting center. They're going to have Dylan Brooks back tonight. He hasn't played since the last time we saw Phoenix. He broke his hand in that game. He's making his return tonight. They've had guys in and out of the rotation. They've been without Grayson Allen for times. Jalen mentioned the Pistons played without their top 5 scorers the other night. I think were able to win that game. So it's across the league. It is certainly, I think, an issue that has impacted this team maybe more so than anybody else. You're missing, maybe your best player, if not your second best player, going on 50 games now that you've been without Franz Wagner. But that next man out mentality has been something that the Magic have relied upon all year, and you're going to have to keep doing it. You got to kind of wait. At some point, I think we're going to get those guys back, but you can't count on it because you got 8 games left, and you're going to have to make do with what you have tonight.
Yeah, I remember you saying on one of these live streams recently about the cavalry coming, and you had mentioned, what happens if the cavalry doesn't come? And now we have a little bit more of an idea of that, okay, Franz.
That was a week ago, and it still hasn't come yet.
It feels like 3 weeks ago.
We've been waiting for a while for that one.
But you said the cavalry just might not come. I feel like we have a little bit of a better idea of when some of these guys will be coming back. I mean, earlier today I saw BD was posting Franz Wagner got a workout in, and AB got a workout in. J.I. was on the floor getting some reps. So we know these guys are starting to work their way back. It's just a matter of time of when they'll get into the rotations, start getting some game time, getting some gameplay. But yeah, you talked about what Jalen Suggs said. He said you just got to do with what you have. You only have what you have, and you got to make the most of it. So he said, well, these guys take care of their work. We have to take care of ours on the same time. So he said this team is more than capable, and you mentioned it. These guys are getting thrusted in different roles. I went back and listened to what Coach Mosley said before the Toronto game. He said guys are being excelled in the game faster. You think about guys like Noah Penda, Jace Richardson, rookies getting a lot of minutes that maybe they weren't expecting when they first came in. Jet Howard, who we see on the floor down there, he's been playing a heavy load of minutes since the All-Star break, which is all of the injuries that have been going on. So these guys are stepping into these roles that they weren't expecting in the beginning of the season, but they have to step up as well.
Yeah, and it's one thing to bring guys along and develop in December and January. It's another this time of year because every game is essentially a playoff game. And so you don't have time to call timeout in the first half for an instructional purpose. Everybody who plays right now has to step onto the floor and execute, and that can be frustrating. I appreciate, but the bottom line is you've been forced into this situation because of injuries, and it's been 2 years running now that's been an issue, and so that sucks, but it's reality, and you're gonna have to deal with that. Got some comments coming in. I want to touch on that. We appreciate you guys for A, staying positive, B, staying faithful and staying on board, and better times are on the horizon, I have a feeling. Let's see here. Roma, not Italy, said, I need to see a desperate and angry team tonight. Right there with you. I think we're going to find out a lot about this team within the first couple minutes of the game tonight. What does it look like? Do you come out flat? Does it look like you're just sort of punching the clock for the last 2 weeks? Or do you still have something to play for? Because the bottom line is I do expect Franz Wagner to make a return at some point this year. I don't think he's just going to sunset the season, even if you lose by 50 more points tonight. I don't think you get to a point where you say, okay, we're in the play-in tournament. It doesn't make sense. Let's just close up shop until next year. I do expect Anthony Black and Jonathan Isaac to try to return this year. And so what does it look like when they do? Is it a couple games left, and then you're just sort of like, getting some work in before a play-in tournament that you assume you're going to get bounced out of? Or can you build a little bit of momentum so that you feel like you might be dangerous when you do get those guys back? Again, is it tomorrow? Is it next week? Is it for game 82 against Boston? We don't know, but it's not too late. You're going to have a game past game 82, and if you have Franz Wagner for that game, well, you got a shot. And so the bottom line is you got to try to set yourself up in the best possible position for if and when that does happen. And obviously every game, as Jalen said this morning, a must win here on out. And it was the same on Sunday, and it didn't necessarily make a difference. You can talk all you want. You got to go out and walk the walk here tonight. But I think, any thought about, based on the way you're playing right now, altering whether or not the guys come back off injury? I don't think anything the team does on the floor is going to impact whether those guys come back. It's going to be all about their bodies and whether or not they're ready to return.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see. You mentioned the first 10 minutes of this game being really important, and I feel like that was kind of the energy I got from shoot around today. Coach Mosley saying that body language, that's been something that's been a topic of conversation over the past week of when the team was playing good, they were responding well to each other, they were communicating, the body language looked better. As the team was falling, they were letting those misses affect them on the defensive end, the turnovers, not being able to get back. And Coach Mosley said that the first 10 minutes he wants to see that body language improve, come out with a sense of urgency, come out with desperation, as some of the comments in YouTube said, that they want to come out with a little bit of fire under them, and then sustain that effort over a full 48. I mean, when you go back to that Toronto game, the first 5 minutes were actually pretty good. I mean, Jalen Suggs had 11 points in like the first 5 minutes of the game, and then once the starters came out and the turnovers started to snowball, then things dropped from there. But you have to sustain that effort. You have to come out strong, and you got to be able to sustain it for a full 48. And then the defensive focus as well was something he emphasizes, which he emphasizes every game. Defensive focus is super important, the identity of this team. They got to get back to that identity. That's going to be the key, not only for tonight, but for the rest of these 8 games and then into the playoffs and beyond.
Yeah, we'll always have 13-6, right? Like, I think that was
Stop the count. Stop the count.
Stop the count. No, and as much as we dive into the numbers, like, it's as simple as we haven't defended for the last 2 weeks. During that winning streak, you were, let me see, I pulled it right here. 4th in the league, I know I mentioned this, but 4th in the league for the first 2 weeks of March, plus 10.4 net rating. For the last 2 weeks, a minus 11.6 net rating. That swing is 22 points per 100 possessions, the difference between the first half of March and the second half of March. So you don't have to look far to find what you're looking for. During that same stretch, we were 4th in defensive rating. The last 2 weeks, we're 27th. We were giving up 108.1 points per 100 possessions. That's down to 125.4 over the last 8 games. Bottom line is we haven't played Magic basketball in 2 weeks. And when we defend and we let our D help our O, et cetera, we can withstand stretches like that. We can withstand spats of turnovers or poor shooting nights. We can go out on the road and beat tough teams and tough places to play. When we don't defend, everything else falls apart. And so, the glaring issue the other night was the turnovers, and it was the inability to beat their pressure. But everything looks a lot better when we are defending to the capability that we know we're able to, and you just haven't seen that in a couple weeks. That needs to be a prerequisite night in and night out. That effort and that energy and not letting teams outwork us is a massive key. And it's kind of ironic because the last time we played this team, it was a rock fight. They shot 35% and still were able to beat us in that game. And it was largely because they outworked us. They had 22 offensive rebounds for 23 second chance points that night. And they got a game winner off Jalen Green at the end of the game. That was without Devin Booker, and Dillon Brooks went down in that game. Both those guys are available tonight for this Phoenix team. So it's going to be a different sort of challenge. But first and foremost, you have to make sure you are rebounding tonight and you don't let this team outwork you, because that's what they do to a lot of teams. And now all of a sudden with Dillon Brooks and Devin Booker back, they've got a lot more options on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, as we wait for Coach Mosley to come and talk about what his game plan is for Phoenix and those two guys especially, I do want to kind of look into them a little bit. They're coming off the second night of a back-to-back. They were in Memphis last night. We were able to get a win there, and what was not really a super competitive game, but you saw on that second night of a back-to-back where you're traveling. You got into Orlando at gosh knows what time, and we talked about they're fighting to get out of that play-in. They're a couple of games back behind Houston, but still a chance in the same way the Magic have a chance to get out of the play-in as well. I mean, at this point, neither of these teams really they don't fully control their destiny.
Yep.
You have to kind of hope for some other losses to happen along the way for the Magic, kind of hoping that maybe the Atlanta Hawks fall off a little bit, Toronto falls off, see what happens with Philadelphia there, and then but what Coach Mosley said is that they just have to control their controllables. They can't ride the highs and the lows and be scorebox watching every other team in the league this night. It's just control what you can, and then if the pieces fall and they're able to get going, then they do, but they have to be able to at least get the wins here and at least start to build that momentum towards the postseason.
Yeah, when you lose a game like you did the other night, you come out the next night and the focus is on you. Like, first and foremost, let's make sure that we've got the Orlando Magic right, and then we'll deal with the Phoenix Suns. And you're right. And with just as far as trying to play out of the play-in scenario, it's certainly a long shot, but if you win this game here tonight, all of a sudden that sets up maybe Atlanta has to think about it if you're able to beat the Hawks tomorrow. So first and foremost, you got to get this one. You lose this game, and I don't even think tomorrow matters too much as far as it goes, with the exception of just every game mattering down the stretch as far as seeding within the play-in tournament. But the only way you got a shot at the 5 or the 6 seed is to win this tonight.
Desmond Bane's a finalist for Teammate of the Year. How deserving do you think he is of potentially winning that award this season?
I think he's the most deserving of it, and I'm obviously biased because being around him, but just having him here just this year, his leadership, his care factor, the way he connects with his teammates, trying to do all the right things by them. I think you can't say enough about him, not just on the court, but the things he's trying to do with these guys off the court as well.
Obviously, Jeff talks about the person is just as important as the player, but that doesn't seem common for me that a guy who's traded to a team is that likable, that friendly, that much of a good teammate is that surprising to you? Because you've been with different players.
Yeah, it shocks you that everything you heard about him was true and then some. From the moment that he got here, talked about his leadership, talked about his care factor, talked about him in the community, talked about how he is as a teammate. All those little things were huge, and he has been that and then some, just for the way he establishes who he is, but also he does it with such humility and care for the people around him. And then you watch him being a father and a husband, just the same is impressive for how he continues to go about his business as a pro, and as a man.
Just turning to tonight's game, what is your philosophy on how important first quarters are? I know, like everyone tends to focus on the end of games and how games maybe finish or the plays at the end, but how important is it to set the tone in the first 12 minutes of a game?
The first minute of the game, from the jump ball on, if they get it, how does your defense start out, and if, we get it, our offensive execution, that says a lot. It's like, it's like a fight, who's throwing the first punch, and then are you trying to feel things out? I think those are very important, that you don't necessarily want to have to try to feel things out. You want to go ahead and set the tone from the beginning.
How do you feel, especially in this stretch of last week?
I'm worried about tonight. Really am. I'm worried about tonight.
Jamal, what is the general vibe of the team? It's a challenging part of the season, big blow in the last game, but your team is famous for the never say die attitude, a tight brotherhood. Mm-hmm. A couple years ago, your mantra for the year was believe. Does everyone still believe?
Absolutely. Yeah, you get punched in the mouth, just using fighting terms. We got punched in the mouth the other night. Whatever happened in that game, we got hit, and we didn't respond. And the one thing I know about this team is that we always respond. We talk about how we've been on back-to-backs. How do we pull it off on a back-to-back after getting hit and losing the game, and then we come out and respond the next night. So we got hit in the mouth. We will definitely respond tonight.
Coach, with 5 to 10 seeds in the East so close and the Magic sitting at 8, are there any, clear goals for the team at this point when it comes to postseason and seeding and trying to chase any one thing? And how much would some playoff experience mean for this group? Whether Franz and AB and it's fully healthy or not.
Yeah, I think it's one game at a time. It's probably get tired of saying that, but at the end of the day, that's all you can control. You take the hit the other night and you still look up and you're in eighth. And then other teams drop. You can't focus on them. We can focus on us. And our ability to play in a lot of these games with, close game records being what they are for us, we can hang with any of these guys and play at the highest level. And the goal is to be playing better basketball in these next 2 weeks and get to our best basketball as we, hopefully get guys back.
And does it feel like parity around the league is coming towards an all-time high and in terms of night-to-night competitiveness and the volatility of the three ball and just effort on a night-to-night basis?
Yeah, that's a big portion of it. You talk about what the East is, the standings where they are is because there's so much parity in the league. Guys, different teams are feeling they're capable of going to get it, and I think that's the mentality that you have to have every single night.
I just want to clarify something from this morning. You said that Franz was out playing 5-on-5 and doing kind of full contact. Is that full contact with his teammates now? Is he back on the floor, like when you guys are doing shoot-arounds? I know there's not a lot of practice time.
Yeah, there's not much practice time, but he's on the court with our guys, yes. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
All right, there we go. Magic head coach Jamal Mosley. Welcome back up on the radio perch. Jake Chapman, Chrissy Birdsall here with you. It's Magic Game Day, and we are getting set for the Phoenix Suns. Second time this season we've seen these guys. Saw them on, about 5 weeks ago, that West Coast road trip coming out of the All-Star break. It was a double overtime loss, total rock fight in that basketball game. Final score was 113-110, a game winner from Jalen Green on a night where he made his return off injury. Went 6 of 26 from the field, 2 of 11 from three-point range, 2 of 6 at the free throw line. He was getting booed in overtime at the free throw line, and then ends up hitting a game-winning heave of a three. And Magic very next night, kind of ironically so, based on what Coach Mosley was just saying, came out in a tough spot and won on the second night of a back-to-back against the Los Angeles Clippers. And then we swept Los Angeles with a win over the Lakers 48 hours later at Crypto.com Arena. So all season long, anytime we've been up against it, this team has swung back out of the corner. Coach Mosley expecting his group to do the same thing here tonight, and you would hope so after what we saw the other night. But did anything stick out to you from Coach Mosley's address?
I mean, we were talking about response earlier. I love the boxing reference that he used. I remember it actually kind of took me back to some college days. That was something that was big in Wisconsin, too. They love the boxing reference.
The boxing reference. Coach Mosley an MMA guy, too, so he's always got fighting on the brain. Yeah,
so he was saying you got punched in the mouth, so you got to get up and respond from that. And he said this team, you mentioned it, they've done it all year. You think back to what their record is on the second night of back-to-backs, how well they've been able to respond from those. and just how well this team responded. You think coming out of the All-Star break where you won 3 of 4 on the road, that loss to Phoenix, that was a very winnable game, almost went to triple overtime. Javon Carter, who's on the court right now, we're watching him warm up. He had that big 3 to tie it right before the game winner there from Phoenix. But then you lost 2 games, and then you come back and you win 7 in a row, the longest winning streak of the season. So that response is going to be really important to see, especially down the stretch, these last 8 games. Everybody here knows the stakes. All of the fans in the chat, all of the people in the arena, the players, the coaches, us up here. Everyone knows what the stakes are. It's just a matter of being able to go out and do it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think this team has shown all season long that when sort of placed in a spots like this, they have responded. With that said, I think it was really disappointing what you saw in the second half in Toronto on Sunday, and so hopefully they got that out of their system. It's a Phoenix team that puts the work in. They got a whole bunch of tryhards surrounding one of the best offensive players in the league, and Devin Booker has been playing very well of late. It's Noche Latina night. We got like the Telemundo volume, I think, going here in arena. That is so loud. And it's usually not quite that loud. Is it? You like it? You tell them to juice it up a little bit. I love Despacito as much as the next man, but holy cow, I can't even hear myself think. Well, just I understand the frustration, and I'm kind of watching some of the comments fly in here in the chat. I think some of the names that are being bandied about as maybe late season additions off of the free agent market. Let's just pack in with who we have here. I think that ship has probably sailed as far as adding players with 8 games remaining and 0 practice time whatsoever. Like I don't know when I'm supposed to prepare for these games with all of the back-to-backs and travel days we have going. There's no chance that this team is going to get a new player in and get them on the floor and up to speed in the next 2 weeks. The end of the regular season, Chrissy, is less than 2 weeks away. So let's, I think we're gonna have to make do with the group that we have, and hopefully that changes and you add to that group within the next couple days. But that's going to happen based off the injury report, I think, not based on the waiver wire. But who knows? Stranger things have happened.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens over these, at least in this game especially. I mean, I'm going back to some of the things that Jalen Suggs said earlier today, just having everybody in. I know that was like a big saying last year, I believe, right around the playoffs times, that everybody in, not the coaches, not just the coaches, not just the players, but the fans as well. Because I was asking him right at the end of shoot-around today of just like how he's one of those guys that soaks up the energy at Kia Center. I don't know his stats compared to being at home versus away, but it always feels like he's bringing that energy, and he gets it from the crowd. And he was saying that it's just it's so important for the crowd to stick with them so they can get back on track. He said he knows it's frustrating, but everybody has to be in, and they need them just as much as they need them.
That to me is something, and we can kind of wrap on this. An appeal to anybody who's going to be in the house tonight, anybody who may be, hopefully you're not listening on the way down here. I'm not sure how streams work that way. If you're listening, you can listen, but don't watch us if you're driving. All of that said, like, we need some juice, man. And it's not lost on me that our 2 official juice bringers, one of them is really, really struggling in Mo Wagner, and the other one, I think we need maybe the crowd to pump some juice into Jalen as opposed to Jalen pumping juice into the crowd. Right. And I realize that's a lot to ask from the Magic faithful. Hey, guys, we just lost by 52 points. Please come and cheer loudly. But the bottom line is, like, we need some energy, and hopefully they give you something to cheer for early on in this game. But let's try to bring it early on, because at this point of the season, our team really, really does thrive off of the energy in this building. I think you see that in some of the home road splits, but you also just see that based on anecdotal evidence the last 2 seasons. This has been one of the toughest atmospheres to play in the league, and you've heard other opposing players say that, and certainly you've heard Jamal Mosley, Jalen Suggs, and our guys talk about what it means to them. We gotta pump it up, and we need to bring it from the opening tap tonight. And again, hopefully you have something to get fired up about. But I do have a feeling that there's going to be better energy at the start of this game from the guys on the floor, and hopefully we can get this place rocking here tonight. Last month or so, and again, I'm prefacing it with there hasn't been a ton to cheer for, but the last month or so just hadn't necessarily felt like felt like that standard Kia Center crowd like we had going earlier in the season. We got to get back to that a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I think tonight's a really good start for that. You mentioned that this is a Phoenix team. These are teams that are even kind of in their records. Both teams in the play-in trying to fight their way for positioning and standings. A lot going from them. Obviously, Phoenix getting some guys back. The Magic waiting on getting some guys back, although I do see Jonathan Isaac going through his shooting slot. Even though he's not playing tonight, that's always a good sign to see as we are wrapping up here on Magic Game Day.
And real quick, and you heard Jamal mention, because Phil sort of double-checked and followed up on what you heard this morning. Franz Wagner is doing contact work with the group on the floor. Again, they haven't been able to have a full practice, but as far as shoot-around went this morning, out on the floor doing stuff, doing 5-on-5, which is a step in the right direction for sure.
Yeah, so this is a good chance for not only the team to get back on track, the fans to get back on track, get something to cheer for. Only 8 games left, 4 of those being at home. So really good opportunity here for the Magic to wash away what happened on Sunday. That's the great thing about the NBA. There's always another one. So a good opportunity here to make things right as they head down the final stretch.
I'm trying to work on our lighting, volcanic chameleons, that I can barely see the folks. We are beholden to the house lights, to what's going on here in the arena. So, here, maybe I can lean in a little bit. Trust me, we're here.
I'll bring a ring light next time.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good idea. I don't have one of those, but I'm sure you have several. We can fire it up. I see Marcin Gortat down there. How about that? The Polish Hammer in the house tonight. Maybe he can inspire the group a little bit. We appreciate you guys. Keep the faith. We've got brighter days ahead. I can feel it, and hopefully that starts here tonight. A win over the Phoenix Suns would not necessarily wipe away everything that happened on Sunday, but it'll make you feel better about coming down the stretch here and where this group is. So the beautiful thing about the NBA is you always got another one right around the corner, and ours is coming up in about an hour, 6:30 for the pregame on the radio side, 96.9 The Game, our flagship station. You can always check out our broadcast streaming on audio on the iHeartRadio app or the Orlando Magic app outside of the listening area, Sirius XM, and NBA League Pass audio as well. She's Chrissy. I'm Jake. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Until then, go Magic.
Overcoming every hurdle, dedicated and sublime. With this passion, we gon' hurt you, something surgical. We hope to reach the masses with these verses. Keep inspiring till it's curtains. Keep igniting fire in you, never stopping. We give praise. Here's the menu for today. Here's the strategy to play. Never give up, keep the faith, keep it safe. Yeah, we going, and we going. Every time we hit the show, they making noises so explosive. We going up, we going up. Every answer has a question. Yeah, we going up. Still there's room for expansion. Has a question. Yeah, we going up. Still there's room for expansion.
Whoa, I got a girl, she Colombian, Afro-Caribbean honeydew, whipping out Abels, no condiments, from Barranquilla, no argument, she going hard like a gallo, don't care what they say, hell if I know, I'm chilling with babe with my eyes closed, got the champagne with my blindfolds, I'm on a flight in Miami, shopping and tripping with Moosey the family, drop top when I drop down, acting hella savage like I'm Randy, I'm on 1,000, living my life like I don't get no hoots about plan B's, my life something like a Tahoe, yours something like a Camry, yeah.
Give the people what they want, cause I got it. I ain't lying. Locked in, I do it just for profit. I ain't lying. Love it how I break it down just like that. I ain't lying. Love it how I run the town just like that. I ain't lying. Love it how I break it down just like that. I ain't lying. Love it how I run the town just like that.
And we welcome you to the Kia Center for Courtside Countdown, presented by Hard Rock Bet. I'm Kendra Douglas alongside Savage Says, and we're going to get you ready for tonight's game. The Magic taking on the Phoenix Suns, looking to get back into the win column, the first of a back-to-back for this team. And tonight's game will be at 7 p.m. with the pregame show at 6:30 p.m. Excuse me. So I want to talk to you about this game. As we know, it's a tough one for this Magic squad. They're looking to bounce back after that tough loss. But I first want to look at the Eastern Conference standings. Sorry, I was not dying before we got on here, but I got a little toasty. Okay, looking at the Eastern Conference standings, you see it right there. The Magic in 8th. Please tell us a little bit about just like what can happen with this group and how they need to move up in standings.
When you look at the Eastern Conference back, but again, you see Miami lose, Charlotte lose, and they kind of maintain their spot in the standings. So what the Magic have to do is just take care of their business. Getting a win tonight against a tough Phoenix team who's also in a play-in scenario out west, and getting a win over an Atlanta team that's currently in a playoff spot that the Magic like to have tomorrow would do wonders for the Magic climbing the Eastern Conference standings. So hopefully if they could do that, they'll be in a better position. We'll all feel a lot better. But what I can promise you, I'm not big on guarantees, is tonight's game will be a lot better than the one we saw up north in Toronto.
I know, it sure will be. I was able to be in that Toronto game, and it was really tough. I want to take a look. So, okay, there we go. One thing I see, some of the comments I'm already seeing, Jay Curve saying, kicking it with Kendra, and Savage Says. Another comment that I saw saying, okay, Kendra, it's you and Dan's time to shine. So let this be our time to shine.
Yes,
and let's talk about the positives of this Magic squad. Like you just mentioned, the Eastern Conference standings, everyone's looking at it, especially that 5 through 10. It is big and it is important. And there's an opportunity for the Magic tonight to get into the win column, slowly move up, and then be able to slowly stack wins, which very feasible and very doable to do against these upcoming teams. But I do want to talk a little bit about just what went wrong maybe in that Toronto game. They lose by 52 points. Raptors go 31-0 run. It was a tough one for this squad.
Yeah, when you look at it, some of the problems, if you want to talk about a reoccurring issue, is when the Magic have to break their starting lineup. And when they start going deeper into the bench, they've struggled in a few of these outings, and Toronto was one of those cases where turnovers started to get the best of them.
Yeah.
You look at the start they had in Toronto when their starters were in there, they were playing an excellent basketball game, looked like the better team for the first couple minutes of that contest, and as soon as they broke the lineup, things fell apart for them and fell apart in a big way. And look, part of that is a product of the injury situation.
Yeah.
When you don't have Franz Wagner out there, when you don't have Anthony Black out there, when you don't have Jonathan Isaac available, you lose some of the ability to have flexibility in a lineup. If certain things aren't working, go into different guys. And you obviously lose some of your better defensive players. That's 3 of the Magic's best defensive players out there, and 2 ball handlers as well. But with that being said, those guys aren't going to be there tonight, so the Magic have to find a way to adapt. And I thought today had a really spirited shoot-around led by Magic head coach Jamal Mosley, where they were focusing on the little details that cost him in the outing: spacing, moving the ball, being in the right spots. All those areas can help you not have turnovers, not allow the Raptors to score so many points in transition.
Yeah.
Those are areas that can help you excel against a Phoenix team who oddly does a lot of the same things.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting as this Magic team takes on the Phoenix squad. We saw the last time they played. It went to double overtime. It was a big one. Some of the comments that I'm getting to is any update on Franz Wagner? Well, you see it right there, the last game between the Phoenix Suns and that guy right there, Jalen Green.
Yeah.
He was a menace all night. Well, actually, he wasn't a menace all night.
The guy couldn't hit a free throw, was getting booed by his home crowd. And then obviously knocks down the game-winning shot in double OT with a lot of people there saying it was the full Jalen Green experience.
Right there.
If you followed him in Houston, some very hot streaks followed by very cold streaks. That's been the story of his career.
Yeah.
But a potent scorer when he's at his best. The Magic have to be locked into him at all night. This is one of those big know your personnel type of nights because Jalen Green, very unique player. They have guys like Colin Gillespie.
Yeah.
That can, really get it going from the outside. You have to be locked into those type of players throughout the night because they have them up and down the rotation. Certain guys, better drivers, can't shoot. Other guys that can knock it down from the outside like Grayson Allen, etc. So the Magic are going to have to be dialed into the game plan tonight.
Yeah, we're going to talk about some of these guys. They're also probably getting Dylan Brooks tonight. We're going to talk about those guys in a minute. But I want to get to some of the comments that we're getting. So back to any update on Franz Wagner. Some positive updates on Franz Wagner. Coach Mosley said in the presser he's been doing 5-on-5 work, which is good. We saw him working out here with assistant coach. I was about to call him his nickname. Sometimes I forget what our assistant coach's real names are because we go with their real name. But yes, he worked out with one of our assistant coaches on the court just a second ago too. So it was really good to see Franz Wagner get back into the groove, and I'm excited for him.
Yeah, no. One of the things that was great to see this morning is Franz Wagner went through periods of shoot-around with the team, went through the pregame warm-up, etc., and just love seeing him out there. The team just looks better and more whole when Franz Wagner is a part of it. So hopefully those are good signs that he's knocking on the door, ready to come back soon. Have to pay close attention. We'll see where it stands for tomorrow or the game after. But I have a feeling he's knocking on that door ready to go. And, boy, does he look good doing his activities. That shot looks smooth. He looks well-rested. He is a 6'10 playmaker that can help the Magic on both ends of the floor. His return would certainly be welcome.
It sure would. As Paolo Banchero's on the court now, I got to make sure I remind him that Duke lost in the NCAA tournament.
I think he should. I think that would add some flavor to the show.
It would.
I'd be more than happy to give.
He let me know.
He did.
That UNC lost in the first round.
And what I will give you credit for is after that UNC loss, you wore a very Carolina blue sweater the next day, almost inviting the comments, which you received many from up and down the Magic's front office to players through the staff. So that's the type of pride you have, and we got to make sure that he matches that type of pride.
I know you see me. What happened? What happened? 15 points? And then you lose at the end? I'm just saying. You came for me? Okay, had my moment.
You did.
I did. All right, now we can talk about this game. So one of the other comments too said, I like that. I like this comment. Big game for Bulldog, Mr. Tonight, Mr. Jay Carter, the Virgo shortstop. So that meant that you guys watched the latest episode of Magic crossover with us, talking with Javon Carter, and that was such a good one.
Oh.
We had fun with that one. He is a Virgo, which we learned.
What I like is, when you're around Javon, when it's on the court, such a serious guy, so focused, so dialed in. He is like a pit bull with the way he approaches it. No nonsense, no attitude.
None.
You're not talking about anything off the court, etc. But then when you get the guy off the court, whether it be the other day when he was doing a court refurbishment with the Orlando Magic, Advent Health, over at the Oak Ridge High School area, you get to see a different side of him when he's around his daughter, his wife, etc. Just a really heartwarming type person. And you get to see the two different sides of him. And I thought with your sit down with him, did a great job of bringing that out of Javon, because it's there inside, even though you wouldn't know it with the way he plays on the court.
I know. You sure wouldn't, especially with how he's just he is a quiet kind of guy, but it was so much fun to talk with him. I love that you guys are watching it. If you haven't, go over to the Orlando Magic YouTube page. You can watch my conversation with Javon Carter, just getting to know him a little bit more. You kind of just heard Bulldog, Virgo, shortstop. That's literally the three things you need to know about Javon Carter, and that will tell you a little bit just about him. But, all right, let's talk about tonight's matchup.
Yeah, so when you look at this Phoenix Suns team, one of the things that they do similarly to what Toronto does, they turn teams over and thrive in transition. That's an area which they excel. Third in the league in steals, fourth in the league in points off turnovers, over 20 per outing. So you have to be aware of that as a whole. Good from the field. They can hurt you on the boards at times as well. Really with those second chance points, as we see there, putting up over 16.3 of them a contest. An area the Magic are going to have to be aware of. We hear Jamal Mosley hammer down that point of closing out possessions. not committing turnovers, taking care of the basketball. All of those will be points of emphasis tonight against the Suns team.
One thing, if you guys, I'm plugging everybody today. If you guys haven't gone over to OrlandoMagic.com, you wrote a really good piece, the preview about it. And something you mentioned too is that the Suns sit third in the league in steals. They rank fourth in points off turnovers. We just saw this Magic squad commit multiple 20-plus turnovers in that game. So that is going to be something really important to look into. But one thing that they do have, and something that we, the guys we really didn't see much of, Devin Booker.
Yeah.
Devin Booker is going to be available in tonight's game. And talking a little bit just kind of what he's been able to do so far, you can see his averages right there. He's averaging more than 25 points a game, more than 3 rebounds and 6 assists. He's done so well for this group, and I think he will continue to do well for this group. And they're just coming off a really good game too. 36 points against Memphis last night. They're also on the second night of a back-to-back. How crucial and how important is he to this team, and what do you expect to see from him?
Devin Booker has been the face of the franchise for a long time, regardless of whether other guys came in, like superstars like Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, etc., or prior to that, where he helped lead a team to the finals. So he is a guy that's fully capable of putting his team on the shoulders and taking them a long way. Now, they've had to deal with injuries, ups and downs throughout the course of the season, whether it be to Dillon Brooks, Devin Booker earlier in the year, and they've still found their way. And Devin Booker, top 15 in the NBA in scoring this year, very effective player. He's a type of player you have to be aware of all night. When he gets a ball, you're going to have to show him multiple bodies and really try to take the ball out of his hands, because if you let him shoot it open, that thing's going in.
Yeah, it sure is. But before we talk about Dillon Brooks, I want to talk a little bit about him too. Let's listen to the shoot-around sound today and hear from some of the guys.
Coach, what was the focus of shoot-around today? What was, the things you were trying to emphasize ahead of tonight's game?
We had a very active shoot-around, so defensive focus was the key. Last couple games, we're giving up way too many points. So our ability to sit down, get stops, the focus level was just that, and how to go about the game plan tonight.
8 games to just kind of do the most that you can with them.
Yeah, not only do we have to continue applying things, improvements, you know what I'm saying, but we got to win, quite frankly. We're in the play-in regardless, but to settle for that is can't happen. I ain't gonna lie. We're not a playing team, so we don't want to settle for being, strictly a playing team. So for us, like I said, these last 8 games, we got 8 more live reps, live opportunities to apply the things, that we're trying to talk about, that we're trying to work on, and to go get a dub. You know what I'm saying? To come out with energy and prepare ourselves for a playoff series that is on the way. So that's all we can do.
For a tough challenge, Devin Booker, presents a tough challenge. What are some of the things you guys have to do against him to slow him down tonight?
Yeah, an elite scorer in the league, get him to tough spots to make him as uncomfortable as possible. And like I said, just continue to give him different looks. So, it'll be fun, always good playing against the best in the league. Iron sharpens iron. That's, a very true statement. So, not only personally, but just as team-wise, like I said, must win, and it's a great test for us.
You always get a little bit of energy from the home crowd. How important is trying to soak up that energy in this back-to-back especially?
Yeah, it's huge. Like I said, I know what this year's been, and I know the frustration that's out there, but we need everybody. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? We need 407, to be with us, to be loud, to be proud, you know what I'm saying, because it helps. It's hard. It's hard going on the road and coming back, you know what I'm saying, and that energy is still gloomy, it's still down. It doesn't assist in our runs and in our energy at all. So, like I said, I know it's been frustrating. Don't blame nobody for it, but we need everybody down this stretch. It truly is all hands on deck. Everybody in, is a phrase that we've used, and we got to stand on that as a city.
And we welcome you back inside the Kia Center. You're watching Courtside Countdown presented by Hard Rock Bet. Thank you guys for continuing to stay with us. Kendra Douglas, Savage says, we're going to get you ready for tonight's game. One of the comments that you just heard Jalen Suggs talk about this upcoming game, everything that this team needs to work on. One thing that we also want to see is Desmond Bane doing well. And I love the comment right here, too, about Desmond Bane. I think DB3 will have something to get after tonight, so he should be aggressive. I agree. And another reason why he should be aggressive is because he's a finalist.
Yes.
And tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, Desmond Bane's a finalist for the NBA's Teammate of the Year. I think it's down to about 8 guys. He is one of them. And what it really shows to me is that a new guy coming to a new team playing a significant role, that's hard to do. And to not only do that, do it well, but then also be considered by your peers, your teammates, those you're closest with, as a guy that should be a teammate of the year, says a lot about his character. And so Desmond Bane has been everything and more for this team as advertised when they got him in the trade. Not only has he been a sensational three-point shooter, we've seen him excel as a driver and off the court as well, helping his young teammates along. And boy, could the Magic use a big DB night tonight in order to get a win over this Suns team.
In that game, in that double overtime game, he led with a game high of 34 points. It was really the moment where he fouled out of the game that I think we all were like, no.
That turned the tide on a fast break.
It did.
Where he was making the right basketball play if he didn't have 5 fouls and was going to foul out of the game. So, he is a warrior fighting on every possession. And that's what we love about him, and that's what his teammates love about him as well.
Yeah, you guys are loving what Jalen Suggs said as well. Comment saying, Suggs feeds off of us, so we need to bring it. And then as a city, we got y'all, Suggs 0. So everyone continuing to have this team's back. And look, Coach Mosley said it himself. He said it in fighting terms. We got punched in the mouth.
Yeah.
Now we have to punch back. So this Magic squad looking to punch back. We talked about Devin Booker. Now let's talk about Dillon Brooks. He's a guy that is going to be available to tonight's game. He was out due to a hand injury, which he sustained in the last meeting against this team. So suffered that on February 21st. Missed 18 games due to that hand fracture. You can see his averages right there. He's also someone, when him and Desmond Bane were going after it, it was very much like they very much remember each other and they know how to be aggressive. You're going to get an aggressive guy out of him, which I think is going to add fuel for this Magic squad.
Yeah, look, you can already tell he's going to be a guy that they're going to deploy on Paolo Banchero, just as they did in that first one. Try to get under his skin, try to, disrupt him out of his flow. That's one of the areas where Dillon Brooks has made his career on. And then on the offensive end, he's another 20-plus point per game scorer, has really started to excel as a scorer in this league. So Magic are going to have to be dialed into him both antics-wise and what he could do on the court, because he's now become a true two-way player.
He really has. So it's going to be interesting to see how this Magic squad comes out aggressive tonight. They're going to have to. They have no choice but to. What I love, though, is seeing the guys out here. We have Anthony Black out here warming up, working out, too. He has these insane earrings in his ears. We're going to try to see if we can ask him if this is something that he would wear.
I got blinded partially by them.
I know. They are rocks. He has rocks in his ears, and I'm curious, too, if he would wear them during a game. But it feels good to see him. Jonathan Isaac was out on the court earlier. These are the things you want to see.
Yeah, no, at this stage of the season, you need all your bodies healthy on the court in order to make a run in the postseason. And when you look at the metrics, it's shown when the Magic are whole, they are a very good, very dangerous team.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's been a long time since we saw that. And when we did see it, it was a very limited sample size. So hopefully the Magic can get all these guys back, get them up to speed, because if they can do that, I promise you, they're going to be a team that nobody wants to see in the postseason. You talk about in the play-in.
Yeah.
If imagine you're a 1 or 2 seed and you have to face the Magic in the first round with Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner, Desmond Bane, Jalen Suggs, Anthony Black, etc. Those are guys that you're not expecting to see at a 7-8 team.
No.
So the Magic can do a lot and go a long way if they could get their guys healthy. I firmly believe that, still believe that.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of doing that and getting them up to speed in time. And look, that runway is closing fast, but there's still enough time, I think, to make it happen. Hopefully it does over the next coming days.
Yeah, just 8 more games left for the Orlando Magic, including tonight. So it is, their foot is on the gas when it comes to stacking those wins, looking to move up in standings. So let's get to your storylines. What do you have for us tonight?
Yeah, look, number one, take care of the basketball. When you look at that Raptors game, that's what killed them. That's what led to that NBA record 31-0 run.
Yeah.
There was a crazy stat that if you took away the Raptors' transition points, the Magic would have actually won by 1, which just tells you how much of a problem in a 52-point loss that taking care of the basketball was. So that's number one tonight. Number two, have to limit Devin Booker. He is a scorer who could really heat up in a hurry, make it a long night for you if you allow him to get comfortable. It's going to take 5 guys, different bodies throughout the night to make it tough on him.
Yeah.
And lastly, all hands on deck.
Woo.
Getting back to that Jalen Suggs quote, he said, look, it's everybody in at this standpoint. That's been the Magic's mantra before. It's going to take the Kia Center having the energy, having the belief to carry over into the guys to really change the attitude, the feeling after that Toronto game, and make these next 2 statement games here at the Kia Center, remaking it a place that nobody else wants to play, where the Magic feed off the crowd and really hit a whole new level. So hoping to see that both from the team and the crowd tonight.
I completely agree with
you know what,
on
in the online presence as well. Been a little too negative, which after a 52-point loss is justified.
I get it.
But we all have to have a different attitude going over these final 8 games to really recapture that magic we've seen in past seasons.
You just heard Dan Savage on that one. That's the comments we need. This is my favorite, and I want to say it like this. Someone said, be aggressive. Be aggressive. I know exactly how you were saying that, and I love that. That's what I hope that this Magic squad can do. I was not a cheerleader, but I do just know that one. That was just the one you just knew.
I mean, you had people cheering for you when you were running track, both at the high school level and collegiate level. At which school did you go to again, Kendra? What
UNC
school?
Chapel Hill. It's called the University of National Champions.
You never tell that to anybody. So.
No. All right, we need to keep winning so we can get to the playoffs. I agree with that one.
100.
Let's go, Dan. We have time to keep steady and go up. Let's do it. People are loving what you're saying, Savage says. All right, let's take a look at the upcoming schedule ahead because, like you just mentioned, you got 2 home and you're going to have 2 on the road. So this is the first night of a back-to-back. The people, I mean, the team that's really, like, killing us are the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah, no, we got to smash them in the mouth. I don't care if it's the second night of the back-to-back. Use whatever you have to do to knock them down a peg, climb up one. With a win tonight, win tomorrow night, it is possible that the Magic could hop up to 1.5, 2 games back of the Hawks and for that 6th spot. So got to make that a priority. And then can you believe we're back on the road again?
I cannot, actually. I was literally doing laundry today.
But 2 winnable games for the Magic on the road, but 2 tough areas to play. So the Magic have to be dialed in. There's no gimmies down the stretch with any team. All guys are playing for different things, whether it's playoff teams, positioning, contracts, etc. All that's on the line down the stretch, so there are no gimmies. The Magic need all 8 of these to close out the season.
Yeah, one of the comments on here, just kind of looking at Paolo Banchero, they want to see a little bit more from him. What do you want to see from him going into tonight's game?
Yeah, I'm looking for a big bounce-back game from Paolo Banchero. When you're a superstar player like he is, and your team gets knocked in the mouth, look, you can't make up for what happened, can't cry over spilt milk. What you have to do is go punch the next team in the mouth. And so that's what I'm looking at Paolo tonight. Right off the bat, be assertive, get to your spots, be the aggressive player. We all know teams will be dialed into taking him away, but you can make them pay both with your physicality and trying to get to the basket, getting to the line, and also kicking out to your teammates to give them opportunities to knock out the other squad.
He had 26 points in that last meeting against the Phoenix Suns. So he's been having really good games. He had multiple games with 30-plus points before Toronto. So this would be a great opportunity inside the Kia Center, inside with our fans, back at home to really level up and get back into the win column and help this team get back into the win column.
Absolutely.
All right, before we get out of here, what are your final thoughts for this game? What are you hoping to see for this Magic squad?
I'm going to repeat this. I'm going to take care of the basketball. Don't want to see turnovers. Want to look at that number and see in the single digits. Don't want him to cross over into double-digit territory all night. Let's honor the head coach's wishes. Do that. And then secondly, I just want to feel that loud Kia Center environment where from start to finish the crowd is locked into it. And the Suns feel what it's like to play here when the crowd's humming and the team's feeding off of that, where Jalen Suggs is going to the courtside ticket holders and getting them all worked up. That carries over further into the crowd. I want to see that tonight, feel that, and have the Magic come away with a decisive statement victory.
There we go. That's the best way to end this. You're watching Courtside Countdown presented by Hard Rock Bet. Up next, you can head over to FanDuel Sports Network, your home for the Orlando Magic, to lock in with Dante Marcatelli and the crew as they get you ready on Magic Live, the pregame show at 6:30, with tonight's game tipping off at 7 p.m. against the Phoenix Suns, the first night of a back-to-back for this squad. We thank you guys so much for joining us. We will see you right back here tomorrow as the Hawks come into town and the Magic will take on the Atlanta Hawks for the final time of the regular season, looking to get a win in that one. But that'll do it for us. Have a good night, Magic fans. Enjoy tonight's game.
Give the people what they want, cause I got it. I ain't lying. Locked in, I do it just for profit. I ain't lying.